What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Crypto, Coffee and LoFi. Before we get started, a special thanks to our sponsor for this series, Delta Exchange. There's a link in the description below. Click the link, sign up with them, make a deposit. Every time you make a deposit and start trading with them, it helps us out, it helps the stream out. Alright, no worries, jumping into it. Just a quick episode here today, following the same game plan that I laid out in the previous episode. So if you haven't watched that, go and check it out. I am in a swing long on Bitcoin. But other than that, there's not too much that's happening in the charts for me yet. There could be a few key or a few decent plays coming up in the next week, so I'm keeping an eye out for that. But let's run over it. So if you are new here, I'm essentially just using the same pattern to find support, resistance, accumulation, and distribution. Okay, and then I'm using that same pattern again as an entry trigger. So what is that pattern? I look for a high. Like, let's say I'm looking for a short. I'll look for a high. I'll wait for the high to be swept. I then look for price to break below the low that was responsible for taking the high. Then I look for a price to revisit this range here from the low to the high and form the same pattern again. There's a little bit more involved when I'm looking to actually form a bias and execute my positions and then looking for targets. But when you see me drawing out the pattern here, that's essentially all I'm using. So I've said this in the previous episodes, but I'll say it again. So I think what we're seeing here is accumulation at these lows. Everything is looking a little bit shaky at the moment. Either we do see a run up here over the next couple of days, or I think we see some more downside. So here we have a sweep. We swept that low. Then we broke up above the high. That swept that low right there. And you can see, we see a run up, and then we revisit this range. Essentially just looking for the same pattern again. So that's what we saw. So this is the first sign that buyers are stepping into the market. Now that we've revisited this range again, I would like to see signs that buyers are stepping in again. So we have just taken out all of these equal lows, and now we've broken structure, but still no solid close above this zone. So I'm actually thinking that we might see another dip down. So this is how I'm going to play this. I am in a swing long based on this position here. Then a validation below this low. But if we do get another breakup followed by some more accumulation, that's a good sign that these levels are going to hold and that we're going to continue up from where we are now. So if we get something like this, I'll probably compound into my position with my stop below here or below here. But also keeping in mind we have just taken out the previous day's low, Monday's low. Oh, Monday's high, sorry. So I believe this is Monday's high right here, and then a bunch of highs over the weekend as well. So even though we have swept out all of these lows, we've also taken some highs, and we're obviously in a downtrend here. So there's not enough evidence for me to enter on the lower time frames, on the 15-minute or the hourly just yet. So hold on, let me change this. So we've taken out all of those highs, and then we've taken out these equal highs right here as well. So when I see price accumulating and distributing right at the same time, I'm not really confident in entering swings, and what that generally means is that we are going to range within the accumulation and distribution. So what do I mean by that? If we have at the range highs, we have distribution, let's say, and then at the range lows, we also have accumulation. What generally happens is that we bounce between the accumulation and the distribution, or we even take out the previous accumulation or the previous distribution and continue to range. So just keeping that in mind. I'm not really confident to enter anything on the mid time frames. On the higher time frames though, I'm in that position. So for today, two positions I'm looking at. If we take out this high and then see a break in structure, I think we then drop down and run this low. If you take a look on the hourly, we do have all of these equal lows here. So if we do get that short setup, I would expect these lows to be taken out. Once we take out those lows, if we get some accumulation down here, my initial entry inside of this zone is still valid, but I will look to compound. So just breaking that down really quick. If we get some distribution here, I will look to short. If we break up and continue to accumulate on the mid time frames, so something like that, then I'll look to compound my position that I entered back here. So we are at support on the higher time frames. So in my opinion, now is not the best time to be looking for higher time frame swings or swing shorts. I would be much more comfy entering higher time frame swing longs here, but also keeping in mind that we are downtrending through this leg, and there hasn't been enough confirmation to suggest that the uptrend is going to start. But I do have a valid entry, so I entered it anyway. Should I cut that there? It is a similar story on ETH as well, so I'll just cover ETH and then I'll probably call it quits. Really just focusing on the majors over the next couple of days. Once we see the hand played there, so if we get some solid accumulation or we continue to drop off, then I will be more confident in entering alts. So I posted this on Twitter last week. The most ideal bullish scenario, or two bullish scenarios that I was seeing, was a sweep out of all of these lows and then a break in structure. But you can see we've just swept the high and we haven't actually gotten any solid break yet. So this could just mean, so like Bitcoin, if we get a temporary break above the lower time frame swing high just there, followed by more distribution, then we could just head lower. But if we do break up and we see a solid, H4 or daily close above this level, and then we get some more accumulation, then you could enter swing longs. But if we get this lower time frame distribution here, then I think we take out this low and then revisit the accumulation that started this whole leg. So I'm not sure if I'm, making all of this seem a little bit too complicated, but I am just using the one pattern here. If you want to learn more, you can click the link in the description below, where I have a bunch of free YouTube videos that you can watch as well. And I'll link them in the description too. So if we get the lower time frame distribution here, I think we drop off, take this low. If that happens, then for this bull run to continue, in my opinion, we need to maintain this level. So you can see we swept out that low, breaking above the high, revisiting this range right here and forming the same pattern again. So taking out that low, breaking above the high. Once we revisit that range, I'll look for the same pattern to form again. If we get that and then break some structure and get it solid like daily close, then I think we'll be good to continue the run up. But just like Bitcoin, we're at higher time frame support, so looking for higher time frame swing shorts doesn't really make much sense. We could just range about here too, so keeping that in mind. So the only position I'm in now is that Bitcoin long, just waiting. Let's see if we can get some scalp shorts on Bitcoin and Ethereum. If we don't get the scalp shorts, we continue up and get a solid daily close, then leading into the weekend, we might be able to get a few long positions in. No worry guys. I'm going to cut that there. If any of this interests you, the way that I'm analyzing the charts and trading, click the link in the description below, pick up a copy of the strategy. Or like I said, there's a bunch of free YouTube videos right at the start of my channel. All right, no worries. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.